Each, listen to this carefully, each group is rolling one croissant pastry and one puff pastry. Clear? Each group. Okay? So everybody is constantly rolling. Because you're doing this, you need bench space for rolling. You need bench space. So I want the bench to be clear. Today, we are just rolling pastries. Nothing else major. We're going to do some scones, we're going to do some pudding, lemon pudding, that's just very quick. Okay? So we are rolling pastry. I want you to take all the time you have today to roll pastries. Don't stress, don't use ingredients from someone else. Just take your time, your bench space, knead, roll. Is that clear?
Yes,
It's very simple. There's no complication. There should not be any complication. Put all your time, effort, and patience into the pastry. Because if you don't do things right today, tomorrow your croissants, your puff pastry will be like flat. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I am doing croissants. I'll be demonstrating croissants, but your puff pastry and your croissants is pretty much the same. The rolling part. Is that clear?
Yes.
So you got 8 croissants, 8 puff pastry, 8, and this is one extra croissants. Okay, this is the 9th one. Okay. So as we discussed yesterday, flour. We need to make a dough first. Okay. I'm using KitchenAid. You guys using hand.
Oh.
Is that clear? Yes, because you need to make 16 doughs, and you got three machines, and you're going to be lined up like crazy. Dough this size can easily be kneaded by hand. Is that clear? It's not a big amount. There are 2 people in a group. You need 2 doughs. Simple. Each one does one. Okay, and also it's good to learn the best way kneading by hand. This one you don't know when you over knead it. Is that clear? Yes, it's tidy, but you don't know when it's over kneaded. Okay? So with this croissants, we are doing the French method. Okay, French method is you cream the butter and you add it to the butter, you soften it and you put them in the freezer, okay, or fridge, okay, just to become hard. This one it doesn't go firm very quickly because it has extra flour, and it also melts very quickly as well. You know what I mean? Do you understand?
Yes.
So this has to be very quick, because if it is just butter and you put it in the cool room, it firms up very hard. Okay? And once you take out, it takes a little bit of time to soften as well. Whereas when you add the flour, the process is quick. So you can't waste a lot of time kneading. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, and also you can't waste a lot of time rolling. Rolling should be quick and easy. Right? If you're taking too much time, what's happening? This butter is not layering, it's just spreading. Okay, it just mix up with the dough. Is that clear?
Yes.
Whereas the puff pastry, you will be doing sheets. You know how to do sheets?
Yes.
2 baking paper, and then 2 square slices. I'll show you one, right? When we get to that stage, when we're doing the butter. You wanna bring yours and just start demonstrating. Okay. So I'm adding the flour. Here's my dough hook. Using the dough hook. All right. Before all of that, I have to because I'm using fresh yeast, I don't have to worry about activating. If it was dry yeast, then I have to make sure this water is lukewarm. What is lukewarm? I put my finger in there. I
Feel
feel
silky on your skin.
yes, just a slight heat on the skin. It should feel like nothing. Okay, just room temperature. But today's room temperature is cold. All right. So I add the yeast. You can add sugar into the yeast, but never the salt. Okay, yeast dies. Just like if you go in seawater, you can't, you know what I mean? You can't live in seawater, just like excess salt will kill the yeast as well. Okay, so I add the salt, salt into the dough, and I add the sugar in the water. And milk powder is just to add some richness. And this is with the butter. Huh? We're using baker's flour for this pastry because this has to stretch, right? So it has a better result. But if there's no baking flour, plain flour will just be fine as well. Right, when I'm mixing, I have to make sure there's no lumps of yeast. Okay? With the fresh yeast, I only have to make sure it dissolves well.
Next Tuesday, 1st of November, is the
Public holiday. So next week we'll only have one day kitchen class. Okay? So Tuesday is a public holiday. We have Monday as normal. Tuesday is a public holiday, and Wednesday I am hoping to arrange the excursion on Wednesday. Haven't got any reply. I'm going to call them today and see how we go. Okay? Yeah, hopefully. Melbourne Cup Day.
Okay, that's right. I hadn't got it short. I don't really pay attention.
Yes. Alright, make sure there's no lumps of yeast. And also, one more very, very common sense is whenever I'm mixing a dough, I don't trust the water which is in the recipe. Okay? Maybe 99% they go well, but there's always, you are the one who needs to decide, okay, is my dough dry enough? Is it too runny? Because the humidity in the air, the humidity in the flour, alright, and also 10 mil, 20 mil less water as well will make a difference when you're making the dough. Right? Let's start mixing this together. Alright, where's your butter? Did you get, no, not this one. Ryan, get your puff pastry butter. Butter
Maybe
for
just for puff pastry.
yeah, only get the butter. Okay? Just take this to your section. Only get the butter. And can you get me the rolling pin, please? Alright, you don't want the dough consistency is very important here. You don't want the dough to be runny. If it's runny, too soft, when you're rolling, it gets soft very quickly. If it is too hard, then you're going to have tough time rolling it. Okay? So look at this. And I see here, okay, the dough is dry. Okay? And this part is wet. Maybe you come together. Okay, fine. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of water. All right. These doughs have to be kneaded, all right? But not as much kneading for a bread. You know what I mean?
You
For
only
bread-
want enough to stretch.
Yes. You only need enough to stretch, but not as, you know, even we. Ah!
You need help? Yeah.
All right. So you have to knead, but not as much for a bread. For bread, you need about close to 10 to 12 minutes. Right? That's because you need a good aeration in the bread. Okay. For this pastry, just enough to stretch so that the gluten can stretch. And always dusting the flour is important. Dusting the bench with the flour, but dusting is, see, that is what is a dust. It's just a thin layer. If you do that, that's not dusting. Okay, you're just putting a lot of flour there, right? So dusting should be done. Okay, so because we will be constantly dusting the bench every time you roll. If you add this much extra every time, your pastry is gonna become dry, right? So it should be a thin layer of flour. Get a chopping board and
Constantly rolling it in on yourself.
sorry.
You're constantly rolling it in onto it.
Yes, they've already done the bread. So what I'm doing is, I've told you this before as well. I'm just bringing the dough to one corner, like one spot, so that it has an even rolling. Okay, it does not have an uneven rolling. All right, and also by doing this, I don't have too many cracks in the dough as well. Okay. Because it's a bit runny, a bit too soft. If it's soft, it's easier to knead. Okay? If it was bread, I wouldn't mind if it's being soft. Just because it's for croissants, every time I rest, it becomes very, very soft. Okay, that's the reason I'm adding more flour to it.
Around how many croissants we will do with this quantity of dough?
I think about, it depends on what size of croissants as well. Right? I think we might get about 8 to 10 croissants. Okay? That depends on how well you roll as well, and how much pastry you waste, and how accurate is your, the triangle when you do that. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna knead until you get a smooth finish, right? And also make sure no cracks. Okay, that's gonna get dry right? And this one, I can put it back in a bowl, please. So you can just wrap it. Okay, that's it. And put it in the cool room, please. And also label your pastries so that there's no confusion, because you will be constantly going in and out, okay? Your butter will be leaking, so you'll be using the cool room quite a lot, okay? So next, I'll come back to that. In this stage, you can go hand together. One person's doing the dough for, yeah, so that's soft butter. This one is for puffing. Sorry, this one is croissant. Once the butter
Like this.
gets softened, and then
Like for this. Because we have like 600 grams of coffee. So 40 grams of butter. The 40 grams of butter.
wow.
Butter and slide. And soft butter. Soft.
See, this is quite soft, as I told you before. So the flour will just, will make it a bit more life easier, but you can't take it too long, okay? Because it will not get very firm. Same way, it will get very soft very quickly as well, right? So you gotta be very quick when you are. Okay, there will be a lot of confusions. I'm telling you, giving you a heads up, because there's two doughs, two butters. Once you put in the cool room, if you don't, hello, yes, thank you. So make sure you label it properly. Which one's a puff pastry, which one's a croissants. Okay, there's no confusion later. Is that clear?
Yes, sure.
I don't want to waste any butter here, because that's what's going to help my croissants.
So make it nice and soft.
Yes. quite soft, rolls very quickly. This one I'm gonna make a rectangle so that I'll fold it this way. Puff pastry I try to make a square so that I put in the center and bring it from all the sides. Okay, both same, just two different ways of doing it. Right, and I've also kept my thickness for about 10 mils, 8 to 10 mils, quite thick as well. If you get it too thin, you're not going to stretch. Okay, it's not going to stretch any further. Right, again, one more tray. See this is quite soft. Right, got it please. And also I don't need this big. Then put your name before you put it in the room. Right, so no, we're gonna roll it today. Okay, we're gonna roll it today. Can you guys do that? And I'll give you 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Okay, just put it.
Okay, you're done. Bye-bye.
This. Right, so I'm gonna make, I want the dough to be see that, double the size. Okay? Until here at least. Okay, so now I have a mark. Now I know how long or how it has to be. See, a good rested dough will start to stretch, right? This mark will help because that will guide you through how to knead it. It does not have to be exactly same, but if it gets close, and also see this. Right. This gets dry sometimes, okay? Because if you've rested too long and if it's not covered properly, it gets dry, and sometimes there's too much flour as well, right? It's very important you dust off any excess, okay? Because while it's layering, it doesn't get layered, it just separates, okay? If it's too dry. And then while kneading, while rolling, in between, I make sure, okay, it doesn't stick to the pan, bench, okay? Or you can twist it as well.
Is this a croissant or puff pastry?
This one's a croissant, but it should be the same for both, okay?
Just
So,
a square shape for the-
Yes, square. If it is square shape, then go to a double the square shape. Okay, or you could do that as well. Okay, but this is quite easier than doing it from center. All right, so. So next week we're going to be making Danish pastries. Same. Croissants and Danish pastries are pretty much the same because they both are yeast resin pastries. Alright, so next week I don't have to give a demo, so you guys are making the pastries and the butter, everything, okay? Because this is same. So I can make half croissants and half Danishes as well. Alright, we'll see how we go tomorrow. If we have too much croissants, if all the pastries come out well, we could roll out some Danishes as well.
It's going to go very well tomorrow, I think.
Huh?
It's going to go very well tomorrow.
Oh, all depends on how you roll your pastries today. Okay? There is no right, see? I've got close to it. I'm not over it. Alright, so making this mark for me it's very important so that it guides you to that direction. Okay, so if you touch this and if you touch this, it should be the second. That's when it stretches very quickly. If this is too hard and this is too soft, this stretches quickly and that doesn't stretch. That's a problem. And this is too soft, this is too hard, again it's a problem. Okay, so very important stage in making croissants or puff pastry is you wait until it's the right consistency. You know when it's right, just bang on, just quickly stretch it. Okay, it doesn't matter you fold it once and roll it, or you fold it again. Sometimes because the butter allows you, I've even done 2 folds in one go. You know what I mean? You don't have to rest and roll. Sometimes I've done, because the butter stretching well, sometimes I've rolled twice, 2 foldings in one go as well. Okay? So, this always better to go quick. Done, and then done, and I've got some extras. All right, you could leave the extras, all right, because you're gonna have thousands of layers. Some layers doesn't matter, but because I want it to be precise, I'm going to cut it off. Or I could have rolled it a bit smaller, like that. Or I could have stretched my butter a little bit as well. Okay, there's no no harm in doing anything like that. So okay, this is what is very important. Okay, so if I touch this, I should not feel okay there's something inside. Okay, if I touch this, now I can feel. Touch it. Maybe if someone wants to try it, you can touch. I can feel the butter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. As soon as I know it is the right consistency, I'm going to roll it. So while rolling, so the first fold I did like this. The next fold, I'm going to fold this way.
Book fold.
A book fold, and every time not the same direction. So I change. Right, once I roll like this, the next time, like I'll be still rolling like this, but my pastry would be like this. Okay, I'll show you how. So I'm waiting, or you can just, I'm not putting any pressure, I'm just trying to melt or get the temperature, just warm up the butter. Okay, now, see, I cannot feel the butter. Okay, so now quickly, Again, dust it. You have your mark. Okay, first I would be a bit gentle because it's very important. Done. And always make sure the joints, you've taken off excess flour, and then I would do, see, take off the excess flour. Okay, if not, all this gets dry. And then inside all the joints inside so that they don't get dry. Okay, and then I can use this to wrap up, all right, or the cling wrap. Can I get the cling wrap, please? Because it has yeast, has a tendency to rise as well in between. And make sure it's sealed properly so that it doesn't go dry. Okay? Okay, that goes in the cool room. Okay, time for croissants and the puff pastry. Same process. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can you please do that? Okay, all right, listen to this. We will try and do, now the time is 10:30. Say we'll give, say the first folding you'll take 10:45. And then we'll do another folding at 11:30. All right, so this is the first roll. So each one we will do it 4 times. Okay?
1,200 something.
Yes. So because it's a double puff as well, 3/4 puff, it rises too much if we do too many layers as well. Okay? So we'll do the croissants. Single book 4 times. Today we will do 3 times. Tomorrow we will do once in the morning. Is that clear?
Yes, sure.
So with the puff pastry, listen to this carefully. First one, we do it double book. All right, you know double book. So this one I did a single book. Single book is one like an envelope. That is single book. Okay, so for croissants I need 1 double book. I don't know where you can put, you know what I mean? First I need one of these ones. That means fold, fold, and then fold. Croissants, sorry, puff pastry. Sorry, for puff pastry I need 1, because puff pastry we need more layers. For croissants we can get away with about 800 layers odd. Okay, we don't need too many layers in croissants. We need a lot of layers in puff pastry. In puff pastry I need 1 double book and 3 single book, and for croissants all single book. Is that clear?
So both 4 times.
Both 4 times. Simple.
4 times the half.
So what you do is, when you put a label, 1. So you could have put 1 in there. So 1 is already done. Then 2. Then 3. Then tomorrow, we'll only do 3 times today. Tomorrow, before we roll once, fold it, put it in the cool room, take it out, roll it to finish. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, do that. And then by then the scones should be sure. It is at least, because this is not like I'm doing it nice, It can go wrong in one roll. Alright? So, once it's cold, alright, the side gets cold very quickly. Side would be the side would be very firm. In the center it will be soft. For now, I feel it, the center is soft, side is firm. Alright, so what I do is I gently warm it up using my palm, or like you seen in the video, he cuts it. Right, so that they stretch evenly. Okay. Right, as I said before, Ryan. Okay, last time I folded this way. Right, this time I'm gonna make sure it's like this, and I fold this way so that the folding is all direction and even. Okay, so again, it is all about the right timing. Touch, it's still cold, I'm not going to put, it looks easy, it's just rolling a couple of times, okay, but there's a lot involved about when and how to roll as well, okay, so it's cold, the butter is cold here. If I start rolling, that butter won't stretch, it'll be sitting in one place like a big chunk, okay, so we take it out, we wait, warm it up, play around with it, but do not knead or roll straight away, okay? Turn, right, because sometimes the bottom it gets too cold, the top is not that cold, or bottom is not that cold, it's different, okay? And then quickly try to, okay, just to, and also see if you can see the dough is getting fluffy. That's because of the yeast in the dough, okay? This will not happen in your puff pastry, but croissants, yes. And also again, put a mark, that's just my, like mark, so that, okay, just a guide. And that's how you roll it to a rectangle, right? Someone was asking how to roll it rectangle, how to, you just, if you want to stretch this way, stretch this way. If you want to stretch this way, stretch this way. Right? See, still slightly firm. The butter, it's breaking. Okay, I can feel there are cracks. Okay, if I do it too early, I can feel the cracks here. Okay, maybe sometimes you can see them as well. So I need to wait. Okay, so this is very important. It's not like you just bring it from your cool room and then just blindly start rolling it. Okay. The first couple of folds are important, right? Once the layer starts to form, then things get a little bit easier, right? First couple of folds is very crucial because the butter is still thick. It's not spread, right, that much as well. See, the butter is just, instead of spreading, you can see it's just cracking. Okay, that's happened before, right? When I was rolling. Okay, so then it's very hard to fix it. Okay, that's the reason you gotta wait patiently. You need to have patience until it comes to a right consistency. Okay, and then again, that's all the excess flour goes. Then over here it's fine. Okay, I can see the butter is smooth. This side, not that much because the bench is cold. One side's cold, one side's warm. Okay, that's why you need to flip the dough, flip the pastry once in a while to get an even stretch. Okay. It's done. So number 2 is done. Okay, when you leave it, when you do the last fold for today and when you're leaving it for tomorrow, don't use this one, do a fresh tight one. You know why? Because this rises. Tomorrow, you wouldn't be surprised if the dough is risen, okay, because it has yeast in it. So your sealing should be tight as well, right? So that it doesn't open and get dry. Okay? So this goes back. Do that.